Hello. Thanks for stopping by today. I'm back with another video that uses the same word templates that I used in my last video that I created with the Silhouette program. These cards are for a design post at Jane's Doodles, and it's her Christmas ornament stamp set that I'm using. It's called Deck the Halls. I began by lightly tracing the outlines of the word letters and then stamped the ornament in place of the letter O. I'm using a water-based Tombow marker to color up the stamp so that when I paint the outlines, they'll fade into the painted image. I did stamp it off once onto scratch paper so that my final image would be that much lighter. And then I erased a lot of the pencil marks. Then I began to paint. For the card I'm showing today, I wanted to use a mix of greens and blues. Probably my all-time favorite color scheme. Close behind would be probably a yellow and pink combination. And I used a couple of techniques. One where I laid down different colors within the shape that I was painting and just let them blend where they touched. Or else I would lay down cleanish water and then drop color in. That's called wet into wet when you're talking about watercolor painting techniques. You might be wondering about my paint palette. I recently ordered 2 of these tins by Bianyo from Amazon, and they hold 48 half pans of paint, well, empty of course, but I removed the palette walls so that I could squeeze in another 20 half pans, so they hold 68 now. I used to have a ridiculous number of little travel-sized tins because I fancied myself as an artist who would take a little paper pad and paints and a 3-legged stool and go and sit in a park to paint. On plein air, they call it. But when I thought about it, I realized I wasn't actually that person. And if I ever did paint away from home, I'd never be satisfied with only 12 colors anyway. So they're a mix of Daniel Smith and Winsor & Newton paint tubes and also Prima dry paint pans. So I finished painting up the ornament with the same shades of blues and greens that I had used for the letters, and then filled in the background with gray, sort of to make it look like silver. And then I finished up the little ornament holder on top with a silver Wink of Stella pen. Next, I outlined the letters and the ornament. My absolute favorite style of watercolor painting is with pen and ink. So I wanted the original lines to disappear so that I could add them back in with a 0.05 micron pen. I like layering a couple of thin pen lines with gaps and squiggles. So the best time for me to attempt that is after a cup of coffee in the morning, which I actually never do. I hate that jittery feeling from too much caffeine. And I get it whenever I drink coffee before 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I can drink it all evening long and it's not a problem. I can sleep at night like a baby. Completely backwards, I know. And it's probably not the weirdest thing about me either. Time to finish up with some paint splatters. I started with a thick, fat brush because that gives the nice big splats of paint. And then I used my paper towel to sop up some of it. And then I came back in with a thin liner brush for more tiny splats. Okay, let's put it all together now. I die cut the card panel using a Simon Says stamp bracket die. Then I folded a top folding A2 sized card base, and I cut a strip of green pattern paper for the top and another blue piece for the bottom. I'm using my favorite adhesive, which is Tombow Extreme permanent tape runner. And how about those American Crafts copper-handled scissors? Nice, hey? Ignore that string tied across the top if you would. I completely forgot my plan to tie the ornament to the top of the card, so I had to go back and cut it off later. So yeah, I added a variety of enamel dots and the ornament string and bow, and this is the completed card. Thanks again for stopping by today. If you like what you saw, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I'll be back soon with another card video, and I hope you'll be here too.